Hello everyone, and welcome to Storytime from the Angie W. Cox Public Library in downtown Partyville, Wisconsin. Today we are reading two stories. The first is The Cow Who Climbed a Tree by Gemma Merino, and the second is City Chicken by Arthur Dorros and illustrated by Henry Cole. The theme for these stories is animal adventures. Don't forget to stop in for the corresponding craft to go along with these stories. First up, The Cow Who Climbed a Tree by Gemma Merino. Tina was a very curious cow. She had a thirst for discovery. Her mind was full of wonderful things, all of which her sisters found very silly. Impossible! Ridiculous! Nonsense! They would say every time she told them her amazing ideas. Her sisters were only interested in one thing: fresh and juicy grass. One day, when Tina was exploring the woods, she decided to try something new. She began to climb a tree. Up and up she went. When she got to the top, Tina couldn't believe her eyes. Unlike the fierce dragons she had seen in her books, this one was friendly and vegetarian. All afternoon they talked about wonderful dreams and incredible stories. Tina couldn't wait to tell her sisters about her new friend. But her sisters were not impressed. Dragons don't exist. Cows can't climb trees. Impossible. Ridiculous. Nonsense, they said. And with that, they went to bed. But the next morning, Tina was nowhere to be seen. Her sisters found a note. "Gone flying with the dragon of the woods. Tina," it said. Well, that was it. Tina's nonsense had gone too far. The sisters decided to go and find her and bring her home. For the first time, they ventured beyond the farm and into the woods. They had never imagined it would be so beautiful. And then they came across something very strange. Impossible, they said. But the first sister began to climb, and one after another, up they went. The world beyond the fields was extraordinary. But where was Tina? Suddenly, the sisters looked up. It was impossible. It was ridiculous. It was nonsense. But it was true. Tina was flying. And when she asked her sisters to join her, they said something they had never said before. Yes, why not? And after that, they just couldn't wait to see what else was possible. The second book is City Chicken by Arthur Dorros and illustrated by Henry Cole. Henry was a chicken. Her name was short for Henrietta. She lived in the city in a chicken coop behind Alex's house. Alex visited Henry every day. He took care of her and collected her eggs. All the eggs were blue. Amazing, said Alex. Weird, said Lucy, the cat from next door. What's a chicken like you doing laying eggs around here? I live here. Chickens lay eggs. Mine are blue. Don't get ruffled, said Lucy. That's what chickens do, clucked Henry, ruffling her feathers. All right, said Lucy. But chickens usually live in the country, where it is peaceful, with cows and— What's a cow? Asked Henry. Cows live in the country. They eat grass, and milk comes out. You'd have to see it to believe it. Henry ate all the food that Alex brought. Pizza, strawberries, watermelon, and waffles. You eat like a horse, Lucy said to Henry. I eat like a chicken, clucked Henry. What's a horse? Horses live in the country. They are huge and brown and let people jump on their backs. You'd have to see it to believe it. Henry scratched in the garden, looking for worms. Dirt and stones and grass flew everywhere. You're as dirty as a pig, said Lucy. What is a pig? Asked Henry. Pigs live in the country. They are pink and stick their noses in the dirt. You wouldn't believe what pigs are like. Enough, clacked Henry. I'm going to the country to see everything for myself. She leaped to the roof and flew the coop. Henry was not the best flyer. She flopped a short way, then had to rest. She dropped in on a statue covered with pigeons and white speckles. "You are a strange-looking bird," said a pigeon. "I am a chicken," said Henry. "Whatever you say, honey," cooed the pigeon. "I am trying to get to the country." "The way you fly, maybe you should take the bus," said the pigeon. "A bus stops over there." "Thank you," said Henry. "Don't mention it," said the pigeon. "I already did," said Henry. Henry hopped on the bus. "Exact change only," the bus driver said. Henry did not have change. She had feathers. She put one in the coin slot. "What a turkey," said a dog. "Chicken," said Henry. "I am not," barked the dog. "I am," cackled Henry. "Stop," called the dog. The bus driver pulled over. So did the bus. "Hey, chicken, you'll have to cross the road to get to the country," said the dog. Henry strutted off. Henry perched on a little hill to look around. "Watch where you're going," piped an ant. "I am going to the country," clucked Henry. "My aunt and uncle live in the country," said the ant. "Lots of ants live in the country. Lots of chickens, too." "Where is the country these days?" Henry asked. "It's where the city isn't," the ant replied. "Here's a truck that goes to the country, and they serve great meals on board." The food was all mixed together and smelled bad. "We're here," said the ant as the truck bumped to a stop. "The country looks bigger than I thought," Henry said. She hopped off the truck and started across the field. "Neigh," said a large animal chewing grass. Henry remembered that cows eat grass. "What a funny-looking cow," clucked Henry. Henry saw huge animals in a pen. She remembered that horses are huge and brown. "Why are these horses rolling in the mud?" asked Henry. "Dust makes a better bath." She bathed herself with dust and waddled off. It started to rain. Henry heard "Perrock, puck, puck, perrock" from inside a big building. She looked for a way to go in. It was not like the coop Alex had built, with a door just for Henry. 2 creaky doors swung open, and a machine roared out. There were bright lights inside, and hundreds of chickens. Each chicken had its own small space. "It looks like a city of chickens," thought Henry. Henry saw an empty space and jumped into it. "Hello, I'm Henry. Who are you?" "Duck!" cackled the chicken. "You look like a chicken to me," said Henry. Motors whirred, gears rattled, chains clanked. "Duck, or you'll get pelted with flying corn." Corn showered down from machines above. Henry wondered who was throwing corn at her. "Hello," Henry clucked to the other chickens. "Perrock, we're too busy to talk," squawked the chickens. They were busy laying eggs. White eggs and brown eggs rolled down a track. One blue egg rolled down too. Henry had laid it. A conveyor belt carried the eggs away. Henry fell into it. She was flipped around and up and down. Lights flashed. This is not the place for me, Henry decided. Whap! The lid of an egg box almost trapped her. She heard a man's voice. "This one's ready for the city." "You'd better believe it," thought Henry. She hopped into the truck and hid among the boxes. It was a long ride to the city. When the truck stopped, Henry scrambled out. She stretched her wings and flapped home. "She's back!" exclaimed Alex. "Here comes the eggs," said Lucy. "First comes the chicken, then the eggs," said Henry. "Was the country all that it was cracked up to be?" asked Lucy. "It was different," said Henry, "but it was not the place for me." "I know another place," said Lucy. "The first chicken is about to be blasted into space with the astronauts." "What's an astronaut?" asked Henry. "Someone who is rocketed into space. Astronauts wear bubbles on their heads and explore strange planets. You wouldn't believe it." "Sounds out of this world," said Henry. Thank you for joining us for this installment of the Angie W. Cox's Story Time. Don't forget to stop by the library for the craft.